Rolling, and the show does start now. Hey, I'm Johnny Allen of the Johnny Allen 30-Minute Podcast. How you guys doing out there today? It has been a couple weeks. I apologize for that because, I've been busy, and I'll show you what I've been busy with at the end of this podcast. Anyway, welcome aboard. If you're first time finding my channel, hit that bell, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, I've been doing this thing for probably in a total of maybe 5 years. I started with a friend of mine from Las Vegas, Nevada. We did a show called Out of the Box with John and Tony. That's where I started podcasting, and then I did that for a couple years with him, and then I just went off and did this thing. So that's what I'm doing today, and I'm just going to kind of update everybody on what's going on. We're going to talk about a little bit of world events and politics, and all we do here is I'm just an average guy, an average life, and I'm just sharing everyday things with you guys, and you guys, can comment below, and we can talk about some things that I observe every day, and you probably observe too, and it's kind of like we're questioning these things and wanting answers and wanting to know how to fix things and all that good stuff. We just talk about everyday life stuff. But I also drink the coffee on the show. I don't drink as much coffee as I used to because I got to cut back because I just celebrated a birthday, which I will talk about here in a minute. Anyway, if you drink coffee, grab it, and let's drink a little bit together, guys. So here we go. It's a little drink to kind of get us going. Today is February the 29th, 2024. Yes, it is a leap year. Well, jump. Everybody's putting the frogs out there. Leap year. That means that the 29th of February, in case you guys don't know, only comes around once every 4 years. And by me saying that is yesterday I had a birthday. And I was almost a leap year baby, but not quite. So if I was a leap year baby, I wouldn't be as old as I am now. And first of all, I want to say thank you for all the birthday wishes and all the birthday gifts and the time I had with my family yesterday. It was fantastic. Probably one of the best birthdays I ever had. I'd celebrated the big 60. Can you believe it? Wow. 60. I can't believe it. I mean, it just seemed like yesterday I was 15, and I wrote a song about it. You guys know some of you know anyway, I'm a musician, singer, songwriter, and, I wrote a song about it several years ago called Older. I may share that below. A link below of some of my music, so you can check that out. But it's about growing old, and boy, it does happen, But anyway, I celebrated 60, turning 60 yesterday, so I'm officially 60 years old. I'll talk a little bit how I feel and what it means to turn 60, especially for some of you younger people out there that may be watching the podcast. So just a few minutes on that. We'll start it with how I feel about turning 60. Well, one thing, I think it's a milestone to turn 60. Back in 2022, when I was in the hospital, in 2021, I think. 2021, I was in the hospital, the year after the COVID thing. I laid up in there for 4 days with some, I'm on board with all that, but some weird stuff going on. My eye shut down and all that. Anyway, I was going through a hard time. So laying in that hospital bed about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I was really wondering if I was going to make it to 60. That was questionable. So praise the Lord. Praise God. I'm here. I made it to 60, another year. So what does it mean and for me to turn 60? When I turned 50, that was a milestone, and even 40. I mean, I remember I turned 40 like it was yesterday. But now, like I said, I'm 60. So what have I learned in 60 years of being on this planet, being alive? I've learned a lot, especially in the last 6 months. I've learned a lot. especially when I was in the hospital a couple years back. I learned a lot laying in the hospital for 4 days while they were running tests and couldn't figure out what was going on. It made me think a lot about my life, where I've been, where I'm going. And now that I've made it to 60 and I'm in fairly decent health right now, which is good. Hopefully it stays that way. But anyway, my thoughts about turning 60. We'll just get right to it. I've learned that I don't take a lot of things really serious like I used to. I don't get hung up on little things. Like if somebody cuts me off on the road or something, I may say something about it, but I don't get like, oh, irate. I'm just really laid back. I'm laid back a lot more now that I'm 60. I don't worry about trying to get famous on a podcast. Obviously, this one, I'm not famous. I don't worry about getting famous in my music world. I don't worry about really finances a whole lot. Basically, in general, I just don't worry about a lot of stuff because it's unhealthy for one, and there's no sense even worrying about it. I did a podcast with my friend Tony, which I may do another one solo, and it was called Predestination. I may link that below. It was one of the best podcasts we ever did. And there's been debates about it and everything, but what I'm getting at about this predestination thing is I think now that I'm 60, I truly believe more than ever in my life that everything is going to go as it goes anyway, right? So in other words, your life's going to just go the way it's going to go. You could direct it somewhat, but at the end of the day, God, the creator, dictates what's going to happen with you. Okay, how long you're going to live, when you're going to be born, and basically everything into what you're going to do in life, who you're going to meet. All these things, I believe, is just preset for you, and you just go along on the ride with it, right? You just ride the waves with it. With the waves of life, you ride that is what I'm trying to say. So as you turn 60 years old like I am, I just try to take every day for what it's worth, make the best of every day, and basically just live. I read a book a while back from a guy that published it. He's a financial consultant, and he says his book is called Zero to the Grave. If I look it up, I may try to link that as well for you guys if I find it. But anyway, I really listened to that and read his book, and it's like, wow, pretty amazing. Used to be like you had to work your tail off for years and years and years, gain all this money, build all this wealth, try to get as much money as you can, save as much money. And I'm all about having a rainy day fund, so to speak. But he talks about like that thinking nowadays is just crazy because enjoy your life. And if you got 0 pennies left when you die, that's fine, right? Because you can't take it with you. So the way I look at these things at 60 years old, I'm going to enjoy every day that I can. I'm not going to blow all my money, but I'm not going to hoard it all either. If I don't have anything left by the time I die, that's fine, whatever. I know my kids and grandkids are going to be okay with other sources. And I'm not saying that's going to happen necessarily, but, if it does, so be it. You got to enjoy life. So basically, at 60, I guess I'm trying to say is just I don't worry about a whole lot of things. I enjoy life. I take things as they come. I try not to get frustrated with things. It's just going to be what it's going to be, but just enjoy that ride as it goes. And again, thanks to everybody that sent me birthday wishes on Facebook. It's incredible. I call it the Facebook family. A lot of my friends on Facebook, because I got over 1,000. And, to some, that's not much. To some, that may be a lot. To me, it's a lot. But, and I would say 60% of those people I really don't know. They're just acquaintances or people that follow my music or whatever. But I call them all Facebook family. So if you guys are watching, thank you, Facebook family. I don't call people friends. They're family, right? If you're close to people, they're family, man. That's how I do it. Another drink of coffee. Thanks for stopping in. 30 minutes of talking about everyday life. So on my podcast notes, the first thing was to talk about turning 60, talk about leap year, talk about and thanking everybody for my birthday wishes. Had a great time with my family and stuff. That's really what it's all about. Now I'm going to just switch a little bit, and I'm going to talk about, I got some music stuff going on. As you guys know, and if you don't know, I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been in a lot of bands in the past, and I won't bore you with all that stuff. But I'm in the middle of setting up a website now. It's almost done, almost completed. I do have a new album coming. It's manufacturing now, and it'll be out on different platforms, Amazon, Spotify, all these things, okay? CD Baby. I'll link all that stuff when it comes out. It'll be available for digital downloads. It's a whole album. It's called Pipe Dream. I'll put it up right here again. I'm also going to have 100 CDs available. I only did 100 because people don't really listen to CDs anymore, but some people wanted CDs. So I will have CDs available. Now, the thing about this album, and I will promote it as it comes and comes in, and as I get it, I'll let you guys hear samples of it or whatever. It's been a project that's been going on for like 13 years off and on with my brother primarily, and a couple of my musician friends that I know that helped me with it. They are listed on the credits of the album. But anyway, 10% of what I sell is going to go to charity causes. And I'll let you know which ones, and I'll let you witness. I will film me writing a check and sticking it in the mailbox at the post office, actually dropping it in there. So you guys know that I'm not BSing about this stuff. I will take 10% because part of my mission with music, it always has been, well, I won't say it always has been because it wasn't when I was younger, but in the last 10 years, my whole thing about music is I never made any money at it, and I've accepted that, maybe very little, but I wanted to give back. I wanted to give back to people that enjoy my music. I wanted to give that keeps on giving, so to speak, and music does that. So I want to give to charity causes. I believe in, helping kids out with cancer, like St. Jude. I believe in the veterans, helping the veterans. There's so many charities, animals, tigers, the you name it, polar bears, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. No, I mean, really, there's all kinds of causes out there, people that need help, man, If I was Bill Gates, I would be going crazy helping people. But I will set up like maybe 2 or 3 charities. I'll let you guys know. Maybe I'll spread it around and say, okay, this charity, this day gets this much, and this one, But anyway, you buy a copy of the record. I'm gonna sell the records for $10. That's $1 a song because there's 10 songs on there. So you buy the CD for $10. Out of $10, 10% of that goes to charity. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date on the Pipe Dream album. And it's, like I said, it's being manufactured now. I should have it done in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it'll hit here. I'll do a special podcast to, share it with you in the release. So Pipe Dream. Doesn't mean that music stops there. I'm in another project as well with a good friend of mine who started me into podcasting. I've known him since 2nd grade. He's like a brother to me. Anthony Scott. Hello, Anthony, if you're out there watching. Kudos to Lipstick Lemon, okay? Lipstick Lemon, right? This is a project that Tony, I call him Tony has created. Tony is a virtuoso guitar player, man. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm his friend. He truly is. He's one of these guys with a natural talent for guitar. He's great. And he decided that, he goes, hey, John, I'm doing this heavy metal stuff, and would you be interested in throwing some bass on it, maybe singing, a little bit or whatever? And I said, sure. So, and we kind of talked a little bit over the phone, and we were just, shooting ideas off on each other, saying, okay, just talking about what songs we want to do. Do we want to do covers? Do we want to do originals? Well, we decided we'd do covers and originals. He's going to write original material. I'm just going to supply bass or whatever he wants me to help him with, I'll do. And we looked at covers, and I said, Tony, I love to do a Zeppelin classic. I said, how about if we try the When the Levee Breaks? So he says, yeah, that sounds cool. And I thought it might have taken maybe a month or something to get it back to me, And within less than a week, he had the drums and the guitar, the main 2 guitar tracks, main guitar driving tracks, basically the song. And all I had to do is add vocals and bass guitar, and I added what I call a special effects guitar, which is basically just a delayed guitar that I'm just, we're playing the song in F, and I'm just basically just letting the thing just ring out and do some weird, special effects just to add some eeriness in the background. Kind of did a somewhat halfway decent job mixing it on my old equipment, which Tony's been bugging me about updating, which I will, Tony, if you're listening, I will update. But took what I got, modest equipment, did the best I could, mixed it down, put a concept video to it. Anyway, I will share the link below of what we've done. So the new project that I'm involved with him is called Lipstick Lemon. It's a heavy metal project. created by Tony. It's Tony's project, basically. I'm just helping him with it. And yeah, it's cool. I love it. It's great. I was really happy with the way that turned out. He's working on stuff as we speak now. He'll probably send me something out. I think the next one we're going to do is maybe a Pink Floyd song. I'm not 100% certain, but I think maybe a Pink Floyd song. And it'll be cover original versions of material also. So, for a 60-year-old guy, you guys judge it. I'm going to link it below. Do I still got it halfway? I think for 60 years old, not too bad. Anyway, I'm not patting myself on the back or anything. Maybe a little bit, but, it's not too bad. It turned out actually better than I thought. Another drink of coffee. So that's what's going on with the music. And one last thing about my music, I had a guy comment the other day, said, "Hey, what kind of music are you doing, John, on Facebook? Yeah, what kind of music do you do, rather?" And I said, I've done everything from heavy metal to country. The only thing I haven't done is rap, and look at me, I mean, I'm not saying I can't do rap. I actually could create beats, and I have done a song. It's called MPA, which is a rock song that could be converted to a rap song that may, like I said, maybe give it to some rap. But I've done everything besides rap. I've even experimented with jazz. I've never released jazz on any of my platforms because I don't really consider myself a jazz musician. But I've had fun playing bass on some jazz stuff and, a little bit of guitar. But pretty much I love metal. Even as old as I am, I grew up on heavy metal. I mean, playing heavy metal. And so did Tony. So does Tony. Tony grew up with it. And obviously you'll hear this track and you'll hear where we're coming from. And I was even surprised that my wife even liked it, this When the Levee Breaks cover. I told Tony real quick, I said, I want to, I kind of want to do it like a Judas Priest meets Audioslave, like old school metal, 80s metal, like a Judas Priest meets like a 90s grunge rock Audioslave kind of thing. And I think we accomplished that. Comment below, let me know. Anyway, Lipstick Lemon, that's a side project that I'm helping with Tony. And I'm continuing to write my own stuff. Working on getting a publishing deal right now. Just waiting to sign on the dotted line. And I could do that today. I had just a couple questions, and I'm waiting for them to call me back and let me know if I can go or not. So anyway, but Pipe Dream album coming out. It's all good. Enough of that stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna flip the script here, guys. So we went over my birthday. How it feels to be 60, basically taking life day at a time at this, at this stage of the ball game. You take it day by day. I'm also, one thing I like to add to is I'm really blessed to still have my parents. They're 81 years old. My mom will be 81 at the end of, in this month, well, March, basically, next month, and, tomorrow's March. And my dad's 81. And, it's amazing. They drove 80 miles to come to my birthday party at my daughter's house and drove back. I mean, hats off to my mom and dad. They're incredible people. And I love you, mom and dad. So anyway, enough of that stuff. You guys are probably thinking, he's talking about all his personal jazz. It's everyday life. Share below, comment below on things you guys are doing. If you have a birthday, happy birthday, So anyway, we're going to flip the script here, guys. I haven't talked about the political madness for a while, so let's kind of touch on that a little bit. Just some of my thoughts on the political madness going on, especially here in the United States of America. So I have another sip of coffee. And this is Sanford Brothers. Sanford Brothers coffee. Really, I bought it at Menards. It's not too bad. Cheaper, because everything's high these days. We know that. So by me saying things are high, I'm not talking about this. Talking about cost of everything expense-wise. It's hitting your financial pockets really hard. Everybody's feeling it. Everybody is feeling it. And, we blame it all on Joe Biden. A lot of people do anyway. The people that like Joe Biden won't, but the people that don't like Joe Biden blame it on Joe Biden. So I'm going to talk about this political stuff we got going on a little bit. And let me know what you guys think about it. I'm looking at it from just, I'm looking at it just honestly through an unbiased lens. I'm just looking at things. Okay, so we know that there are forces out there that want to take down ex-President Donald Trump. Okay, we know that, right? That's a fact number one. There are forces out there. There's people out there that don't like him, right? Period. That's a fact. If you don't believe that, you're definitely sleeping under a rock. There's people out there trying to get him. Now, who gets sued for almost $400 million on bank loans and things like that when the bank said that, he was fine and everything was good. And you got the woman and I'm telling you, this is just truthful stuff, guys. And you got the woman who is suing him on videotape back in 2016 saying she hated Donald Trump. That's fine. She hates him. I don't like him. I'm going to do everything I can to destroy this man, basically, in so many words. Not quoting exact, but, pretty much close. Anyway, she's made it pretty evident that she doesn't like Donald Trump, okay? It's pretty obvious. And that she wants to get rid of that guy. Okay, that's fine if she doesn't like him. But trying to destroy somebody like she's trying to do, I don't care if it's Donald Trump, I don't care who it is wrong, right? It's definitely wrong. And before you guys shut me down and say, oh, he's pro-Trump, or I'm not pro anything except Christ, okay? Here's the thing. It's not fair to do that to anybody. And here's the problem with that. So you got these people that are going after Donald Trump in New York City. Now, this is fact, okay? It causes an unfair fully, right? Okay, I mean, really what they're doing to him is pretty extreme. I don't care if you like him or not. You got to agree it's pretty extreme. And you got to agree that it's probably illegal, okay? And they're twisting the script, so to speak, to match and fit their agenda, okay? So here's where I'm going with it. So when you do stuff like that, and especially to someone that has a lot of people that like him, and a lot of people that feel like, including myself, that he's being punished unfairly with that. Now, if he was killing somebody or something like that, yeah. If you got a really hard crime that you are proven that you did it, by all means, you should pay the price. I don't care who you are, okay? So I want to get that out there, first of all. But what Donald Trump has done, especially with this financial banking thing, when the bank said, "Now he's cool, he paid his loans back and everything's good," you guys got to admit, that's a little overkill. Needless to say, that's bad, right? Okay? So what happens is what I'm trying to say is that so many people are going to suffer so many people in general suffer from the decisions of the few. Now, hear what I'm saying. That's why I set up this whole Donald Trump thing, because it only takes a few people to disrupt thousands, to mess up innocent people's lives, thousands of innocent people's lives. You look at Vladimir Putin, for instance, over in Russia, in the Ukraine situation. Look how many innocent people that one man, two men, or whatever, that decision they made has affected thousands of people, millions of people, really, and the financial problems in the world by the decisions of the few. Decisions of a few in New York City. You got truck drivers not going in there, rightfully or wrongfully, okay, depending on how you're looking at it, okay? I'm not going to get into that part of it. That's a personal opinion of myself that I'll keep to myself. But the factual part is they are doing it. So the factual part is it's going to affect innocent people. That's where I'm getting at with this whole podcast. The decisions of a few affect so many, whether it be right or wrong. Now, usually if it's a right decision, it's okay. Usually. Sometimes there's exceptions to the rule there. But when you have when people are making a wrong, biased decision because they don't like somebody and they don't like what they stand for, even though it's legal, and trying to, basically give this guy so much problem, it's causing a domino effect, basically, it's going to affect all these people in New York City. It's going to affect a lot of people even outside of New York City. So it's causing the point I'm trying to make with this is you got to be, especially when you are an authoritative person, when you're a judge and you're in these positions of power, so to speak, you need to be really careful on how you make decisions. Very careful on how you make decisions, because it's going to affect millions of people. Now, some people that are in these high-level positions don't really give a shit, with, pardon my language. They don't care what it does as long as it doesn't hurt me and I look good. And that's happening with a lot of people, right, that are in these powerful positions. I don't care who it affects. I don't care who doesn't like it. It's making me look good, okay? Because I don't like this person and I'm going to get even with him. And that kind of mentality is very, very, very dangerous when it involves thousands upon maybe even millions of people. I'm going to have a drink of coffee on what I just said. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. But if you don't agree with that, you need to think about that because it's pretty true. Pretty true. And, America is built on, freedoms, and you're not guilty until proven. And even if you're proven not guilty, if you don't like the person, you got to let it go. I mean, I'll use the infamous Charles Manson, for instance. He was awful. He was terrible. He was terrible, right? He got what was coming to him. Some people think he didn't get enough. But we'll flip the script a little bit. Say Charles Manson really didn't do it. Say he was an awful guy and he did a few things, but say he didn't really influence and, these people to kill these other people. Say he just kind of said, maybe they proved that, he didn't really do it, but a lot of people thought, well, Manson, I just don't like him because he was a punk in school or something like that, so I'm going to get him. And they get him. That's wrong. Even if someone's wrong, okay, even if someone you didn't like, rather, if they didn't do the crime, they shouldn't do the time. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Now, Charles Manson deserved what he got. I want to make that clear for the record. And like I said, I think he got probably off a little bit easier than he should have. But personally, I feel like they should have, executed him very soon. The things that he did was terrible. And the things that the people he influenced was terrible. But the thing is, if you got an innocent person, like you say, okay, for instance, this happens a lot with African Americans and Caucasians and really any person, really. But you hear about it more in the African American community, that they get wrongfully blamed and wrongfully charged and wrongfully arrested because of the color of their skin. I don't deny that does happen. I'm sure that really does happen. And that's wrong, right? And the same principle applies to Donald Trump. If he is proving that, he was good on his financial stuff in New York, his properties, he should not be getting sued for almost $400 million. Okay, that's it. And the thing is, too, flip this script around and think about this scenario for a minute. What if Donald Trump was African American? Would they do that to him? What if Donald Trump was a lesbian? That sounds kind of funny. No, what if the Donald Trump character was a lesbian woman or African American or Hispanic? I'm just saying, what if? What if? It's a question mark, guys. I'm just asking the question. Would the treatments be the same? You got to really ask that, really. You got to really honestly ask that. Okay, I think it might be a little different. That would be my bet. If I was a Vegas betting guy, I would say, yeah, nothing's going to happen because it's not Donald Trump. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that. That's just the facts. But like I've said, what I'm trying to say with all this stuff is that you got to be fair when you're in those positions of judges and attorney. Well, not necessarily attorneys, but really people that have power, judges, people of that nature. You got to uphold the law. You got to keep the biases in the back seat. You can't go out there and preach, I'm going to get him, and he's terrible, and blah, 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 because I just don't like him, and then try to get him. And for one, I believe in karma. So these people that are going after Donald Trump unfairly, the ones that have gotten on record that they don't like him, I believe in karma. You do that to anybody. I don't care if it's Donald Trump or who it is. You do that to anybody, karma will come to bite you. And I don't care what people say. Some people have commented below, well, I don't believe in karma. I do because it's happened to me. I've done people wrong, and it's come back to bite me and bite me and bite me, right? And I've seen people that do people wrong, and I've seen it bite them eventually. It may take a while, but it will come around. Okay, you just look around. You'll see. I'm not crazy. Maybe a little bit, but no. I mean, really, seriously, karma will come to get you. I'm loving the coffee. But then again, at 60 years old, does it frustrate me what they're doing? To me, it's a little frustrating, but to me, it's more scary because if they can do that to somebody with financial wealth and power like a Donald Trump in the world, and somebody who is a president like a Donald Trump in the world, seriously, they could do it to anybody. And you could just say, I didn't do that. Well, we think you did. Well, I got so-and-so to back me up and say I didn't do it. Oh, we don't care what they say. We believe what we believe, and that's it. You're going, boom. I go, whoa. You know what I mean? I mean, think about that, guys and gals. Think about it. Think about it. It could happen to you. It can happen to me. It could happen to anybody. What if the government one day says, okay, you make X amount of money. we don't think that's fair. We're going to take that all from you because, you don't really deserve it. And we're going to decide to do what we want to do with your money. We're going to decide to do what we want to do with where you live. We're going to do what we want to do with what you drive, decide what you're going to drive, how you're going to get around, if you're going to get around. And we're going to decide what kind of food you're going to eat. And we're going to decide this and we're going to decide that. We're going to do everything for you, whether you like it or not. That's called total communism, socialism, Marxism, total control of your life. You become nothing but a walking zombie that is controlled by the puppet masters up there pulling the strings. That's all I got to say about it. And you know what? It's happening now. More than ever now. Okay, so at 60 years old, do I worry about it? I don't worry about it, but I'm concerned about it. What do I do about it? I try the best I can with what little freedoms we got left here in the United States to try to get the right people in command, so to speak. But at the end of the day, when I perish, I know where I'm going. Okay? So that's the main thing really right there. But I brought the Donald Trump thing up because it really is unfair what he's doing. If they did that to Joe Biden, and I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Joe Biden fan, but if they did that to Joe Biden, I would say that's wrong, totally wrong, totally wrong. If they would do that to the woman who's prosecuting Trump, I would say that's wrong. Right's right, wrong's wrong, period. That is it, guys. That is it in a nutshell, okay? We've got to fix this problem. Now, we're all not going to agree, but we can agree to disagree. That's fine. But we got to work together. But right is right and wrong is wrong. If someone is innocent of something, then so be it. Now, the Mar-a-Lago thing, staying on the subject of President Trump, ex-President Trump, the Mar-a-Lago thing, I don't know anything about that. Maybe these record things maybe he shouldn't have done that. I don't know. That's going to play out. But definitely the real estate thing in New York, where the bankers came and said, the real thing with that story is the bankers came and said, hey, he's fine, it's good, we do business with him again. He paid the loans off, there's no problem here. There's nothing here. And they went ahead and sued him anyway because he don't like you. Now, see, that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong. What if you had a speeding ticket or something, and you go in and you think, well, I wasn't really speeding, but I had this biased cop pull me over. Now, African Americans can relate to this a lot. I had this biased cop just pull me over because he didn't like the way I looked, okay? And they wrote me this big-ass ticket for, $3,000 because he said, I'm just making it up. But, big ticket, wrote me up. And I went to court and I protested because I wasn't speeding. And they're just getting me because they didn't like the way I looked. And then maybe that is true. So you go into court and you say, hey, I didn't do this, judge, because, I didn't. And then the judge it doesn't like the way I look or whatever, decides, oh, no, I believe this guy. And, so you're guilty. And then I end up paying the fine. Is that right? Think about that. I got to close, guys. It's already been 30 minutes of the podcast. I've already went through 30 minutes. But think about this stuff. Let's just be right in the world. Let's do right things. Let's put our biases aside and let's just judge each case for what it really is and not what we think it is, okay? Especially these people, like I said, have authority, right? If I'm in a jury, which I've been in a jury before, I really look at everything. I don't look at the person and automatically think, oh, he looks like I know he did it because he looks like he could do that. I don't do that. You got to get all the facts. Because like I said, it takes very few, my whole podcast today is it takes very few people to make wrong decisions that affect, or the decisions they make, period, whether right or wrong, to affect millions upon hundreds of people, right? I'm going to close with that. Thanks again for stopping in. Thanks again for all the birthday wishes. I'm 60. I'm doing okay. I'm just mellowing, really. Just going to take it how it goes. That's all I can do, right? Just do the best that we can. Try to be smart. Try to prepare for whatever may come down the pikes. And, just living life every day. And I leave it all up to, the man upstairs, right? At the end of the day, he's running the show. Love y'all. Take care. Lord willing, I'll see you next week on the Johnny Allen 30-minute podcast. Oh, by the way, before I get off here, too, I'm going to say a special guest. I got a friend of mine. His name is Stephen Hubbard. He has a YouTube channel. I'll link it below. Going to have him as a guest. We're going to set up some equipment. We're going to talk some bass guitar and some rock music. And he's a younger guy. I'm old enough to be his dad. But I'll get a perspective on a younger guy. He likes the same kind of music I grew up to when I was his age. So we'll bump back and forth and talk back and forth rather about music. And it'll be pretty interesting. Anyway, you guys take care later. I'll catch you next week.